All right, teammates, we got something super special on deck for you guys. You need to have your notebook ready and your pen ready because it's about to go down. So I want to introduce the regional vice president, part of the regional vice president leadership team. They're going to talk to you guys about a special training tonight. They got full reign and control over the training tonight, sharing screens, whatever they need to do, it's already there. Y'all make it happen. But I want to bring to the forefront man, Justin Super J Hall of Fame and Andrea Fowler to take us down a path of just an amazing training they got on deck tonight. So family, y'all come off mute. Please come off mute and cheer them on as they come to the table to give us what we need to learn tonight. Y'all already clapping, y'all already cheering. You already clapping. Cheering.
All right, RBP.
Hey, let's bring it. Let's bring it.
Bring it on, bring it on, bring it on.
Awesome
Right.
sauce.
Well, thank you so much, Nick, for that wonderful welcome. And of course, you know, family is family, right? And so we are absolutely a team of regional vice presidents coming together to make sure that Blessed Dynasty has what they need, to make sure that Get Active has what they need, to make sure that Secret Weapon has what they need, and of course, the entire Prove It movement hierarchy has what they need. And so tonight, for our conversation, we're going to talk a little bit about how to be a happy part-timer. Now, I want to show of hands of everybody on here that has a job. You got a job, you went to it today, you might not have liked being there, but you have a job. Give me your hand or put a hand up in the chat. Let me see your hands. You got a job, you went to your job, you might not like being there, you might love being there, I don't know, but you got a job. Okay, so that means that everything that we do in this business is part-time income. Everything that we're doing outside of your 9 to 5 or your 12 to 12 or whatever hours that you work, everything that you do here is part-time income. And so that is what we're going to talk about today, how to be a happy part-timer. And so again, I'm one part of this two-part dynamic duo. And so my sister and I have the unique privilege to talk to you today about how to run your business while you have a full-time job, or how to just make this business something that you're happy about and being a happy part-timer. And so I'm going to do part of this training, and then we're going to tag in another person doing another part of this training. But listen, you have a full-time job. It is meeting your bills to the extent that it needs to meet your bills, right? Justin Hall used to say all the time when he would close at the office at 6,200, the job is just J-O-B, right? Just over broke. Can I get an amen? Jobs, sometimes you just over broke. They pay you just enough, Miss Jackie, to have you come back next week. You know, they pay you just that thing, you know, just a little bit of money, Mike, to make you come back and do another 2 weeks, you get another paycheck. You know, no, they give you just enough. It's not a windfall of money, but they give you just enough. And so somebody at some point, Sean, sat down and shared with you this business opportunity. Chanel, they said, listen, we got this exciting opportunity and I want to share it with you. So let's discuss it. There are actually 5 reasons that people actually come up, be a part of this business. And there are 5 types of happy part-timers, right? There are 5 types of people that are on this Zoom right now. You got to figure out which one of these am I, right? So the number 1 is, you know what? You don't like your job. You don't like your job. And you're looking for something different. Maybe you saw this opportunity as something to do part-time so it can transition into something full-time. You know, maybe you're looking at this business as, you know what, I want to do this business, get my income up enough so I too can become a regional vice president, have my own office and do what I want to do, right? You might be one of those people. You just don't like your boss. You don't like what they say to you. You don't like the emails. You don't like that they're always on your back. You don't like that they tell you when to come in. You don't like what they tell you to leave out. You don't like it. So that's number 1, right? And we're going to go through these real quick. And if you have pen and paper, I want you to write down, you probably have a couple of these, but I want you to write down the one that resonates the most to you, right? So number 1, you don't like your job and you're looking for something different. Number 2, you got involved with this business part-time to earn some extra income. Our senior vice president talked about what goals and dreams do you have that cost money? Well, guess what? If they cost money, odds are your job is not going to be able to provide that money for you. And so you might love what you do. You might enjoy your job. You might love the people you work with, but you need some extra money. One of the top 3 resolutions on every New Year's list is to make more money, to make more money. And so a lot of times Americans go, well, I got to get another job. And they chase a job every time trying to make some more money, Erica. But they realize maybe I could keep what I got and just maybe make a couple extra dollars part-time. And so you know that an additional $200, $500 a month will make a difference. So that's you. You're number 2. Number 2, just want extra money. Or it might be number 3. You actually want to know more about financial literacy. This is something that you're like, I want to know how money works. We make money, we spend money. You might be a person that's like, I've always wanted to know, how does this stuff work? I've always wanted to get licensed to figure out how to do this stuff, right? Did you know that most average Americans make between 6 to 8 money decisions a day? Okay, do I get my gas here by the house, or is it cheaper by the job? You know, do I take my coffee, Tam, or do I go buy the Starbucks on the way to the office every day? You know, am I in a position where I make my lunch at the house, you know, or I decide, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and eat lunch out and go to Papa Do's, right? And so, Shadrika, there are people that make money decisions every single day. And so you might be a person that's like, I just like educating people and I want to help educate people regarding money, right? Or you might be number 4. You might be in here and you might be like, you know, listen, I love people. You know, Omar Rodriguez, he's on here. He just loves helping people. He loves teaching people about the licensing process. And so you might be a person that's like, I want to make a difference in helping others, no matter what it is. You have a heart of servitude. And so you realize that this business fits right in with your alignment. I want to help people, but I also have the opportunity to get paid. Or you might be number 5, the last reason. You just desire to do what? To just have a business. You've always wanted to be a business owner. You've been trying to figure out, what kind of business can I run? You know, maybe even on the approach, you know, if you were prospected somewhere out and about, somebody came up to you and said, hey, have you ever thought about having your own business? And this particular vehicle that we are in right now allows you to work your 9 to 5, to do what you need to do, and also run a business on your own schedule, part-time. You have the ability to build a team part-time. And so I want you to take a look at these 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. And I want you to ask yourself, which one of these was it that made you decide to pull the trigger and join this business? Which one of these was like, you know what, this is what I want. This is where I'm going to go ahead and try this thing out. I'm going to plant my flag in here. I'm going to take the word of what Nick said when he came and met with me, and I'm going to go ahead and do this. But the last question on the screen is, what is it that you want to accomplish in this business? You're here. And I believe that God has you here for a reason. And so if we're going to be in the business, we have our full-time job, whether we like it or not, whether we love it or not, whether we want to make extra income, whether we want to run our own business, whether we want to help people, you have to figure out, what is it that you want out of this business? Is it to become financially free? Is it to help our community? Or is it to just maybe share with others that there is something out there that can help them with their finances? So you got to think about that first. That's what's going to be the key to making you a happy part-timer. What is it that you got out of the business opportunity that you saw that's like, this is what I want to do? So 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, that number is for you to write down. Might be a combination of 2 or 3 of them, right? But figure out what it is that you want out of this business. Because when you're part-time in this business, the most important thing that you've got to figure out is a schedule. When you started at your job and HR called you in and you sat down with your new boss, they said, these are the hours. These are the hours we need you to be here at this time, Robert. We need you to do this at that time. We need you to take your lunch at this time. We need you to work an X amount of hours, 40 hours, 8 hours, whatever. So your job gave you a schedule. But in this business, it's no different. How many days of the week can you plug into this business? And how many hours should you work? But it all depends on you and what your priority is right now. You know, if you have a regular 9 to 5, these days, that's not even 9 to 5 anymore. A lot of times it's 9 to 6, they make you work overtime. There's no 8-hour day anymore. It's like 10-hour day. Then if you add in traffic, you're chasing a sea of red lights to the job and a sea of red lights back. How many hours should I plug in there? Because there's 24 hours in the day. Am I right? Am I right, everybody? There's 24 hours in the day, right? And so you got to be thinking that's a lot of real estate in a day. And we all have the same 24 hours a day. Millionaires have the same time. They don't get extra 5 hours, right? Uncle Mike, they don't give them an extra 3-4 hours to get more work done. You know, Kimberly Lewis, they don't say, okay, well, you're wealthy, let me add some more. No, they got the same 24 hours that we do. And so let's break that down when we're talking about a part-timer schedule. So you're going to work 8 hours. Right? And I just said, sometimes it's 10, right? Sometimes if they call you and they say, we need mandatory overtime this weekend, you're going to be there, right? But for our conversation today, we're at work 8 hours a day, right? What else do we do in a 24-hour period? I know, well, we sleep. Should be, some of us more than 8 hours, God bless your soul, and some of us less than 8 hours. So we're working for 8, we're sleeping for 8. The question is, what are we doing with the other 8 hours of our day? The man is puzzled. He's looking up in the sky. Okay, well, that's the same question here. What are we doing with the other? Is my math right? Is my math right? 8, 8, and 8. Am I right? Okay. So what are we doing with the other 8 hours of our day? So when you run into people like, man, I don't have time to be doing that stuff. Okay, well, what are you doing? That's 8 hours. Sure, you might scroll through TikTok and learn the latest dance, get in on some of that, right? You might go on Instagram and start scrolling through there for a little bit. None of that's paying any bills, right? Unless y'all got a different TikTok than I got or different Instagram than I got, it's not paying any bills. And so you might do that, let's say 30 minutes, maybe an hour. What are you doing for the rest of the time? So when you look at your schedule, and I want you to really think about this, what was my schedule like in the month of January? Or what was my schedule like for 2022? Because if you're going to work a job and leave out the job, you have to somehow fit in Primerica. I know one of the questions that we asked during orientation is, what days can you do this business? I'm pretty sure everybody's orientation says the same thing. What days can you do this business? We're not looking for 7 days a week. We're looking for you to at least commit to 2, right? So you're telling us the days you can do it. We're talking about what hours of these days can you plug in for the business? All right, so let's keep going. So now that we've identified, we got 8 hours somewhere in the day, 8 hours somewhere in the day. The question now becomes, okay, how can I do this? Well, what is a good part-time schedule? If I'm going to actually do the business, what does it consist of? What does it look like? I know my job. I know my boss. They gave me my schedule at my job. The question really is, what is the work in Primerica? What is work? Let me ask a question. Let me ask a question. Come to the gallery. What is work in Primerica? Somebody come off mute or put it in the chat. Does anybody know what the definition of work is in Primerica? What is work in Primerica? Is being on a Zoom right now with us, looking at each other, is this work? No, I see head shaking. Okay. What is the work in Primerica? I know somebody knows the answer out there. Oh, I'm going to call on you. I might get some volunteers. All right, here we go. Come on, E-Money. What you got?
Scheduling an appointment or being on an appointment.
Come on with it. Yes. Come on with it. Being on an appointment or scheduling an appointment is the work in this business. Thank you. And if you didn't know that, now you know. If you don't know, now you know, right? That is the work in Primerica. Being on an appointment or scheduling an appointment, right? And so you got to be thinking, am I scheduling appointments in these 8 hours? And then if you take 8 hours to schedule some appointments, man, hats off, right? You are doing it, right? But it doesn't even take 8 hours, especially in a day. Or being on an appointment. I don't know how much time you allot to doing a Zoom appointment or getting in front of face-to-face with a family, but it's not 8 hours, right? So you got to think, how many of these slots can I put in my weekly schedule where I can sit down with my field trainer if I don't have my script, with my notes, with my information, and call to schedule an appointment? Or how many hours in a week, in a day, can I set up so that I can be on an appointment? And I'm going to give you all a hint. If you have an appointment scheduled at 6 o'clock and they cancel, let me go back here, and they cancel at 6 o'clock, you have an appointment at 6 o'clock, what do you do at 6 o'clock? Do you go to bed? Do you go to happy hour? Do you go take a nap? What do you do if they don't get on the Zoom at 6 o'clock? What do you do if they don't show up? Nick has told us 100 times what he used to do. What happens if an appointment does not hold at a certain time? Come on, y'all, what you got? What do you do? Anybody? What do you do if your appointment does not hold at 6 o'clock?
Follow up with them and see what happened, possibly.
That's good. Follow up, see what happens, see if they're maybe just running a little bit late. That's good, Kim. Or you can get on the phone and schedule someone else. See if someone else can slide up to that spot, or see if you can fill in that time with more work. That's right, Omar. Set another one. That's absolutely right, Kim. See if that guy can get back on and or schedule another one. But it's not for you to just go, well, they didn't hold. I'm just going to go. What is on TV tonight? No, that is your scheduled time to work the business. So if you have a work schedule, you have to have a Primerica schedule, and you have to set it up so that you can get the best time for your, best bang for your buck. Okay, so schedule an appointment and being on an appointment. But guess what? We have Tuesday night trainings every Tuesday night. I want to ask you, is it scheduled? Is it in your calendar? Is it a non-negotiable, or is it, well, if I'm really not doing nothing and if nothing? No. This is the meat and potatoes of our business. We get together on Tuesdays and you get to learn something that's going to help move your business to the next level. And so we have trainings. You see Brittany and Justin here. You see myself, you see Benicia, you see Nickery. We are here every Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. But where are you? A happy part-timer has it in their schedule. It's a non-negotiable. On Tuesdays at 6:30, I am in training. It's a non-negotiable. We're not calling you. We're not saying, hey, don't forget. You put it in your calendar and you're here. Why? Because you're trying to schedule appointments. You're trying to set appointments. You're trying to be on appointments. You want to learn as much as you can learn out of this business. That's what a happy part-timer does. You know what else a happy part-timer does? They're on the Recognition Tuesday. They celebrate the wins of others. They're clapping it up. They're coming off mute. They're putting it in the chat. Man, great job. Man, I'd love to see that, Shadrika. Oh my gosh, Yvette, look what you were doing, girl. You're really blowing it up. Man, I can't believe that you did it again. Chrissy Roper, man, girl, you doing the thing, man. I can't believe it. Another Blessed Dynasty person. Woo! That's what a happy part-timer does. They're on Recognition Tuesday. They celebrate the wins of others, and they're also part of the recognition because they're scheduling appointments, they're running the appointments, they're getting the job done, right? Another thing that a happy part-timer does is they're plugged in. You got to ask yourself, are you plugged in? Ooh, is your camera on or is it off? What if we ran the appointments, we ran our Zooms and we look like this? What if I sat up here and I ran a whole training just like this? And I'm like, yeah, we're going to really do it big, y'all. We're going to do it, man. We're going to do some great things. We got so much going on. How would you feel if we ran the entire Tuesday night training on a black screen? Oh my God. And so you got to think to yourself, am I plugged in? Am I on the Zoom? And is my camera on? At least I understand things happen. I get it. I know that we have some, but if every Tuesday night, every time we see it, every time we get something, the camera's off, that's a problem. So you got to go back to the slide before, which is Tuesday night a priority for you and your business? If you're a happy part-timer, you're plugged in, your camera's on. This is what it should look like. It should look like a wealth of sea of faces. Everybody with the cameras on, looking all intently, maybe with some note paper, I don't know. But I'd rather have this than the other one. Another thing that a happy part-timer does is on Telegram or on the group text or whatever we got. Are you looking at Telegram? Are you in the text thread? Are you cheering? Are you participating? Man, sounds good. When we welcome a new teammate, are you saying, man, welcome to the team? Man, I'd love to see you. That's being plugged in. That's being a happy part-timer because it's all about energy. You're putting energy out. You're excited. You're happy. You're like, man, I knew what it was like when I first got here. I wanted to feel like that when they got here too. So you're participating in the group text or the Telegram. You're celebrating the wins of others. And you're calling your field trainer on a daily basis. The loudest voice in your head is going to win. We have our boss, and if the boss has always got their thumb on us, talking about you're not doing this, talking about doing that, instead of recognition like we do, where we celebrate, they got that other kind of job recognition. But they're talking about you were 20 minutes late earlier. Did you see that? I was coming by the break room, Julie, and I saw you got that. That's the wrong kind of recognition, right? And so those are the things that we are looking at, right? When it comes to plugging in, being a part of the Zoom, being a part of the recognition, being a part of the Telegram, being, let's make it exciting. Let's make it wonderful. It shouldn't just be like cobwebs rolling through that thing, but that's part of plugging in. Also, I'm plugging in. Let me go back to my screen. Also, I'm plugging in. Is calling this field trainer daily, because this field trainer is going to give you all the things that you need. You don't have to run from the field trainer. They want to see you win. They want to see you get the things that Nick asked about that cost money. They want to make sure that you are able to get those things for you and your family. They want to see you win. That's also part of plugging in. If you have a refrigerator and it's full of groceries, Justin Hall says this, and it's full of groceries, and you unplug that sucker and you take off for 3 days, that food is going to be what? Rotten, spoiled, stinky, disgusting, right? You got to take all of it out and throw it away. It's no different in this business. If you're not plugged into your field trainer, if you're not plugged into the environment, the Telegram, the text threads, if you're not plugged into Zoom and on camera, ready to see what's going on, if you're not plugged in on our celebrations and things of that nature, then we got to talk, because you're actually not participating fully in the business opportunity. Also, we just had a great event. Look at these RVPs and their sneakers. We had a sneaker drop. Shout out to all the people that flew in. We got the East Coast flew in to celebrate with us. We was dancing. They had a live band and everything. You know, we were shouting out with F3. My sister flew in from Seattle, Washington. And so we were here. We were at the big event. Are you plugging into big events? Are you plugging into big events? Nick just talked about Orlando. He talked about the AALC. We had a holiday party in December. We had everybody out to the office. It was an amazing time. We played games. We fellowship. Some people were cheating on them games. We're not going to talk about that. Anyway, then we have Orlando coming up with the AALC. Have you put it on your calendar? Are you making arrangements? Listen, the minimum to put down is $200. So you got to be thinking, let me go ahead and talk to my upline. Let me go ahead and talk to the person that brought me into business. Let me go ahead and talk to the RVP team to see if I can be a part of Orlando. We're looking for people to room together. We're looking for people to be a part to share some of the costs. And so you can go to Orlando. Don't think you got to pay for the whole thing on your own. We actually want to plug you in with somebody else. We have a Super Saturday. Nick just showed a nice slide. We have a Super Saturday coming up. It's the first one of 2023. You got to be there. You got to be there. That's a big event. We're going to have coaching information. We're going to have team building information. But more importantly, we're going to have something that's going to be said from somebody on that stage that's going to help you or give you the things that you need to move your business. And last but not least, we have this game night. Man, I'm so proud of the Racies. They're like, listen, we're going to have y'all come together. We're going to play some games. We're going to roll up our sleeves. We're going to get in there, see who can play some spades. I don't know about this group, right? And so we're going to get out there, play some spades, play some dominoes, whatever we're going to do. I don't know what we're going to do, but we're going to have fun. Let's fellowship with other people that are believing the same thing for their family as you are for yours. You got to plug into the big events. You got to plug into the things that we have. You also got to take a look at POL. We have a whole social media content. You have a full-time job, so you can't dedicate 8 hours to running the business. So why not use social media? Get with your field trainer. Find out where to get this information. Start putting some of that stuff out there. There are so many great people in our business, in our hierarchy, that use social media to kind of move their business while they're at the job. But do you know how it works? Are you up to date? Do you know what's approved and what's not approved? Don't go out there making your own homemade flyer. They have plenty of things out there on Primerica.com, Primerica online, right? And then also, do you know about all the products and services that we offer? You know, be versed in the information. You're paying the money for POL. You might as well go on there and take a look at all the training material. Learn about all the products and services that we offer. We are a one-stop shop for all things financial services. And so if you're a happy part-timer, you got to be thinking, as I'm walking around my job, as I'm at the grocery store, as I'm at the band recital, as I'm at the football game, I want to make sure that we know what I offer for clients. You got to know that. And the only way you do that is search on POL. Take a look. Find out what's out there. Get knowledgeable about it. Nick already talked about, this is Break Free January. This is, tomorrow will be the month end, But do you know the incentives every month? Do you take time to go on POL to kind of take a look and see what's going on this month? What's happening? You know, we have a $49 IBA. Did you know? Right? Did you know that? Right? And so when you're looking at these things on POL, you got to be in a position where I'm part-time in my Primerica business, but I'm full-time when it comes to the knowledge that I can have. And so these are the things that make you good part-time, happy part-timers. You know what's going on every month. You know the incentives. You're plugging into the Telegram. You're plugging into the GroupMe. You're in a position where you're moving your business to the next level. And more importantly, you're in touch with your field trainer every single day. And so that's my piece of the happy part-timer. I hope that y'all got something out of that. I hope that it was something that make you think like, why did I join this business? Or better yet, do I have what it takes on the list to push my business to the next level? And so I'm going to turn it over to part 2 of this training, right? The amazing, the wonderful, you know what? I can't even, I was going to do the get active, but I didn't get the dance. I need to get Avery to kind of show me the dance steps. But anyway, I'm going to turn it over to the amazing Regional Vice President, Super J, Hall of Fame, and Brittany.
What up? What up? What up? Hey, man, y'all give Andrea Fowler a hand clap, y'all. I mean, you did a phenomenal job, Andrea. I mean, I think you brought a new meaning to what it means to be a happy part-timer. I'm sure everybody got something out of this, right? Like, it was awesome. I mean, the 5 types of happy part-timers, right? You either dislike your current job, that's why you came here. You wanted to earn some additional income. You wanted to get a financial education that money couldn't buy, which is what Nick said is why he came here, right? You love helping people, or you desire to own your own business. I mean, that is phenomenal. And so just making the decision on what you want to do here will shortcut, you know, the time that you will be spending here, right? She talked about those 24 hours in the day and how the wealthy people, how they have the same 24 hours as middle class and, you know, people in poverty. We all got 24 hours, but it's who's managing their 24 hours better. Like, you know what I'm saying? Understanding that we really don't have time to waste. But great job, Andrea Fowler, once again. Definitely enjoyed that. Well, teammates, I have the distinct honor and pleasure of picking up where she left off, right? She left some big shoes for me to step into. But I definitely want to talk to you about increasing your skill set. How many people think that skill set is important here in Primerica? All right, yeah, okay, y'all with me. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to share my screen here. Hold on one second, let me see here. Okay, all right. Can everybody see my screen now? Y'all give me a thumbs up there. Yeah. Okay. All right. So I want to talk to y'all about increasing your skill set. It's definitely something that I believe should be taken, I'm saving my time here, should be taken seriously. Okay? Because we came here to make money, right? We came here to get better. We definitely didn't come here to do the same things that we were doing before we signed that IBA. Isn't that right? I know somebody saying amen back there. All right. So, okay, here we go. So let's talk about what Webster says a skill set is, right? Webster says the skill set is a particular combination of skills that a person has developed, okay? Especially ones that can be used in a job, right? It's safe to say that a lot of people are definitely skilled on their job, right? Okay, hold on. Let me get to this next little point here, right here. All right, so this is my question I have for y'all, and I'm sure y'all can relate. On a scale from 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest, and y'all know y'all got to put that hand up there, right? The highest. All right, be coachable, y'all. How would you rate your skill set at your current job? Type it in the chat. On a scale from 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest, how would you rate your current skill set at your job? Type it in the chat, y'all. I know some people putting 20, right? Question number 2 is, on a scale from 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest, right? How would you rate your ability to teach and train someone else on what you do at your job? See, I'm just convinced that we are so comfortable with what we do with our jobs because we do it when? Every day. We do it every day, so it's repetition. We're super comfortable with it. We're in our comfort zone when it comes to it. But do you feel that way about your Primerica business? That's a question, right? Does anybody recognize this guy right here? This is Stephen Curry, right? For you all, for you basketball people. I believe if you don't watch basketball, you still know who this guy is because he is a household name, right? The greatest of all time, the GOAT, is definitely not Steph Curry. All right, just wanted to let y'all know. Definitely not Steph Curry. It's LeBron James. I just wanted to put that out there. But y'all want to debate me on that, just hit me after the whole shit dig, all right? But I'll tell you this, that Steph Curry is the GSOAT. He isn't the GOAT. He is the greatest shooter of all time. Yes, he is. A lot of people will definitely recognize him as that, right? He is a 2-time MVP, okay? And the only unanimous MVP in NBA history. He's the only one where everybody said, you know what? We all voting for Steph Curry this year. He is that dude. So he literally separated himself from the entire league, okay? Steph Curry is also a Finals MVP. Now, it took him a while to get it. A lot of people thought that he couldn't get it, okay? But I remember this was a bit premature when he said this, but he did say, okay, I don't have anything else to prove. I just have more to accomplish. That's what he said to the public. Now, he said that before he got his most recent championship in Finals MVP. I thought that statement would have been great after he won that last chip with the Finals MVP. But I mean, hey, it's okay. He has 4 championships. These are the things that he's accomplished in his career so far, right? 4 titles. And he revolutionized the game with his 3-point shot. So what he did was he created belief in people, y'all, where they're taking shots from half court. When in the past, the coach would have sat you down for doing something like that, right? I mean, they have centers that are actually taking shots from 30, 40 feet away from the goal, all because of this young man right here, right? He changed the game. Still talking about increasing your skill set. I'm going somewhere with this, y'all. So this is what Steph Curry said. He says, I stay in the gym 6 days per week working on my game. I got to ask you all, how often are you working on your game in Primerica? Okay, because he said he's spending 6 days a week doing it. He works about 3 hours per day, and it keeps his game sharp over the summer as he heads into the next season. So even in the off season, he getting it on and popping, right? Getting ready for the next season. So after our field training appointments, right? Are we getting ready for that next appointment? What are we doing in preparation for the next appointment, right? Just like Andrea said, if your appointment cancels or reschedules, what are you doing in that period of time, in your business time? Are you using it to get better? Are you making phone calls, right? Ever heard the saying, hard work will beat talent when talent doesn't work hard? Have y'all heard that before? Now, one thing I can say about Steph Curry is he has an ability and he has a talent. He got a skill set and a talent. Now, if anybody knows Klay Thompson, he's the other Splash brother, right? Now, when I tell you in terms of a pure shooter, Klay Thompson is that, a pure shooter. Some might even say, hey, if there is a last second shot, I would want Klay Thompson to take that shot over Steph Curry. That's how great Klay Thompson is, his shooting ability, right? But Steph Curry is still better than Klay Thompson, right? And it's not because Klay isn't putting in the time. They both work on their skill set. Are y'all with me? They both work on their skill set, but what Steph has is a God-given talent that gives him a cut above Klay Thompson and everybody else in the league and everybody else that ever stepped foot in the history of the NBA. It's just his talent and his work ethic, okay? But the NBA, talent is required. When the scouts are coming to choose those new players, they're looking for talent. But it's not required in Primerica, y'all. Did y'all know that? This should be an aha moment for some folks. You don't need talent to win in Primerica. You didn't need talent, okay? So let's kind of look into that a little bit. Let me give you a public service announcement real quick. Are y'all ready for it? Raise your hand if you're ready for this public service announcement. All right, here we go. Your Primerica business does not require you to have talent. Your Primerica business requires you to have abilities. Abilities, y'all, not talent. All right? So let's kind of look into it, right? So abilities, of course, are the things that you acquire. So when you come to Primerica, you will have mentorship, you will have coaches that will teach you the things that you need, okay, to win in this business. A skill set is simply an acquired ability. That's what it is. Because we weren't born with skill sets. Nobody was born a great speaker, or nobody was born, I'm just saying, with the skill set of building a car or whatever it may be, right? These things were taught to people. And that's what happens in Primerica when you come here, right? Skill sets and abilities that you're taught. So let's talk about increasing your skill set, right? And evaluating your personal skill set in Primerica. So what areas can you strengthen in 2023? That's really what it comes down to, all right? So let's kind of pull these up here. Let's look at them. So when you look at your presentation skills, how would you rate your presentation skills in Primerica? Is this something that you need to increase? I will tell you, when we were in the base shop, you know, Brittany and I definitely had a focus on getting that presentation skill up where it needed to be. I do remember coming to the office back at 7211, and every Tuesday, for a few Tuesdays in a row, Nick kind of put a challenge out to myself. He was just saying, hey, want to see if you can memorize and learn this presentation. And so what I would do is every Tuesday before training, I would come back and I would sit in front of Nick, or I would sit in front of Rahima if she was in the office. And Rahima was always a nurse. I was like, what do you do for a living? I'm a nurse. I was like, all right, I got you. But every week, y'all, was getting better. It was a skill set that I wanted to perfect. Are y'all with me? So you got to be thinking about your presentation skills. How do you feel about telling the Primerica story to people that are sitting in front of you? All right. Also, overcoming objections. Is that a skill set that you need work in? Are there certain things that people may say that intimidate you, right? If they say, hey, if Primerica is so great, how come y'all don't have commercials? You're like, oh shoot, I don't know why they don't have commercials. Maybe I need to go. See, this is an objection that someone is giving to you, right? Is that a pyramid scheme? Do you know how to explain what a pyramid scheme is? Right? A pyramid scheme is basically the exchange of money with no product or service. So that's something that you can take down in your notes right there. It's the exchange of money with no product or service. These type of objections, once you get your skill set up, right, and you learn your craft, you're like, bring on the objections. What other questions do you have? You know what I mean? And so that type of skill set, you definitely need to get it up. Recruiting. Is recruiting a skill set that you need to increase, that you need to work on, right? Now remember, when recruiting, people don't buy Primerica, they buy you. I was just talking to one of our newest teammates, and I was saying, when we sat down and talked to you about Primerica, right? Why did you buy Primerica? They bought it because of the person that I was field training them with. I said we could have been Snake Farm, we could have been anybody, and they would have bought because people buy you, they don't buy the company. And so how do you feel about you when you're sitting in front of people telling the Primerica story? Like, that's important. Are you confident in your ability to recruit, to know that people will buy you? Closing. How are your closing skills, y'all? Okay. Some people, they scared to land the plane, Andrea Fowler. They're like, man, I'm scared to ask for the check. I'm scared to ask for the routing and account number. They may tell me no, I just don't. The ABCs, y'all, always be closing. Remember that. You always have to be closing from the beginning of your talk all the way to the end, right? And when you get better and better and better at that, you just, it's a way of life. You just step into it. Do you need to work on your closing skills? Then we have leadership skills, right? Now, leadership skills is something I believe that you just continuously work on, right? You just never get too good or too big, or there's always an area of leadership that you can grow in, right? And I believe that the number one facet of leadership is the ability to lead ourselves. Can I get an amen, somebody? To be able to lead yourself, right? Because the easiest advice we can give to people is giving somebody else advice. That's the best advice we can give. Not to ourselves, though. See, we have problems when it comes to us, right? We got the answers when it comes to everybody else. Oh, that's what you're going through? Oh, let me tell you what you need to be doing. That's what we always do. But can you lead yourself? Can you hold yourself accountable to your goals and dreams? Because leading yourself is the gateway to leading others. One thing about this Primerica business is not a do as I say and not as I do business. It's never been that business. It's always been a monkey see, monkey do business. It's always been that, right? And so leadership is at the forefront of it. Do you need to work on your leadership? What are you reading? Who are you talking to, right? Who are you hanging around? Then, of course, relationships and people skills. Did you think you needed that in Primerica? Oh, absolutely, right? If you're planning on building a business here, how can you do that without interacting with people? Because even at the least, if you say, hey, I just want to sell, that's all I want to do. You got to sell to people, don't you? So you got to work on your relationship. You got to work on your relationship and people skills, right? You have to treat people. You always heard that saying, treat people how you want to be treated. I heard somebody take it a step further and they said, treat people how you think they want to be treated. And I was like, well, wow. Okay, that's taking it to the next level, right? So relationships and people skills, I believe that that's probably the cornerstone of all of the other skills. And there's a slew of skills that you can increase in your Primerica business, y'all. But starting here, right? And you think of other areas that you need to increase in. But it's imperative for you to be able to get those skill sets where they need to be if you ultimately want to level up in Primerica. That's just how it goes, okay? So in closing, okay, increasing your skill set is the difference between independent producer, field trainer, and regional vice president. Let me say that one more again, y'all. Increasing your skill set, okay, is the difference between independent producer, field trainer, and regional vice president, right? So of course, independent producer, what does that mean? That means, hey, I have mastered a skill set to where now I am independent and I'm confident enough to go out and help a family or recruit a person on my own without my field training. That's what an independent producer is. And you have to get your skill set and confidence to a level to become an independent producer. Are y'all with me? Field trainer, right? That's the next step up, because what does a field trainer know how to do? Does a field trainer know how to independently produce? Yes, they do. But a field trainer also has their vice president's endorsement, okay, to be able to go out and take a new recruit through the field training process. It takes a skill set to be able to do that. It takes a level of confidence to be able to take another person that's depending on you to win for them. Are y'all with me? And then, of course, regional vice president, right? You checked all the boxes. You've done what you need to do to actually step to that next level, right? And so, where's your skill set, people? That's my question is. That's my question for you tonight. Where's your skill set? Because this is a copycat business, okay? You don't have to figure out what you need to do when coming into this company, all right? Unlike any of these other opportunities out there where you can go spend $500 to sit in a room and they tell you, oh, you can do this, you can invest this money, you can make this, that, and the other, they make you feel good. And at the end, you're like, well, how do I actually do this? Who's gonna help me? Who's gonna take me by the hand and make sure I can get this thing popping, right? You already took my $500-600. So you don't have to do that here in Primerica, right? We have people here that are actually, this is they call it pushing up people. So the people that are higher contracts than you, that have been here before you, what you're doing, you're pushing them up, right? But what they're doing is pulling you up as they go up. So it's pushing people up and it's pulling people up, okay? And so the leadership that you have in place here, all you have to do is copycat them. That's all you got to do. But you got to make sure you're copying the right cat, right? Who do you want to be in this business? You want to be an independent producer? You want to be a field trainer? You want to be a regional vice president? The choice is yours. The choice is definitely yours. But I'll tell you, in any one of those levels, you definitely are going to have to master and be very, very mindful of increasing your skill set. And that's my time, folks. Let me stop the sharing here. Hopefully you all got something out of increasing your skill set, because it is so imperative and important. And so what I'm going to do is, I'm guessing I'm passing the rock. Is it to you, Nick, or is it to Rahima? All right. So I'm passing it back to Super SVP, Nick Brayson.
All right. If you guys don't mind, please come off mute and give a rousing round of applause to Andrea Fowler and Justin Superintendent Hall of Fame.
Great job. Good job.
Masterclass clinic on information about being a happy part-timer and increasing your skill set. Well done, guys. Well done.